Our first article relates to the Paris Agreement and the nationally determined contributions to reduce greenhouse gases. So this is an article that covers that in 2025 there was supposed to be ratcheting, higher levels of contributions, financial contributions, and lowering greenhouse gas emissions. And this is sort of within this Paris Agreement facilitated by the UN. Tell us what this really means. This is the World Resource Institute has put out this article. Explain this to us if you would.
I'll keep it short. It means absolutely nothing. Smoke
Okay.
and mirrors. Let's pretend we're going to change business as usual when behind closed doors, and this is what all the COP climate conferences are about, forcing countries to actively or passively participate in the climate engineering insanity and portraying to them, other countries and dignitaries from those countries and other climate scientists that won't tell the truth, refuse to even acknowledge what's happening in our skies. But let's all pretend that this is some sort of mitigation, something that's going to make a bad situation better. Couldn't be further from the truth. It's taking us from the frying pan, putting us in the fire. Mary, did you know that yesterday and the day before we had temperatures in parts of the Southwest of 90 degrees, 89 and 90?
Wow.
Because the media doesn't want you to know that. And in fact, what scheduled for the next coming days, that map's helpful. In fact, the current map that's even a day newer is even worse than that. That map, meteorologically speaking, is completely impossible without climate engineering. So that bullseye of red, meaning that's about 6 tiers above normal temperatures, each tier being about 3 degrees plus. So we're going to have record obliterating heat through half the country. That's a high pressure heat dome, an ionosphere heater induced high pressure heat dome. And they do have weapons of mass destruction like this. Harpin, Alaska is a weapon of mass destruction that serves the power structure so completely because it looks like some sort of benign antenna facility in the middle of nowhere in Alaska that can literally manipulate the protective layers of our atmosphere like the ionosphere. So this high pressure dome compressing, sinking air spins the jet stream clockwise around that with the moisture going with the jet stream. And Mary, did you know there's flooding occurring right now in the Pacific Northwest in Washington?
No.
There's massive record flooding in places because all the moisture that would have otherwise come into the West is being steered around, again, clockwise around that high pressure heat dome, comes back down into the eastern US around the Great Lakes. They're chemically nucleating that moisture the whole way. It's like a giant snow blowing machine. And that dries up much of the moisture in that cooling process. It's an endothermic reaction. The West, at minimum, is a climate sacrifice zone to keep the most populated portions of the US colder in the East, just in time for the holidays. Let's have some sensationalized winter weather media coverage. Unfortunately, too many people online, Mary, that pretend to be telling the truth are pretending that these flash cool downs are somehow a sign of global cooling or unbelievably ridiculous mantra of coming ice age. And they'll show a map like what you just showed and focus only on the blue cool spot and completely ignoring the other half of the country that's brilliant, bright red. There you go. So where's the coldest place in the most anomalously cold place in the entire world? Exactly on that map where it shows those 40 below normal anomalous temperatures. And that's the only thing media focuses on. It's the only thing many internet sites that want to push certain narratives that unfortunately exactly the narratives the controllers and the climate engineers want. Let's pretend there's massive cooling everywhere. And the second the moisture's gone, temperatures go right back through the roof.